to be, the gold at the end of the rainbow, I guess. Now, you will relapse, and expect that. You're going to revert back to that old place. And as a matter of fact, not only, sorry about jumping the camera there, not only should you expect that, but it's going to happen a few times where you're going to feel like you've kind of regressed and lost ground. Where I was feeling really great, I thought I had kind of plateaued, gotten to the next step, and here I am back to where I feel like I started. Well, subtly, and this is where I mean to give you some encouragement on this, you're not the same hermit crab that you were when you go back there. And even though you might not know it fully, soon you're going to have outgrown that shell altogether, and you're not going to be able to kind of fit into your old ways because you're a bigger thing now. Even if you're not aware of it. And so, to the opposite, I'd like to suggest the possibility of when you kind of lose ground, know that's a part of the process. Take heart in that. And if you can, maybe even try to kind of immerse yourself a little bit in that old way of being that you feel like you've fallen back into, and do so with that kind of heightened sense of awareness and detect where that shift is, where those things don't seem like they're fitting anymore, where those kind of old patterns are being outgrown. This is the process that from the inside out will change the way you go to work. And for our purposes here at Karma, with this Karma of Sales thing that I'm doing, is going to change the way you sell. The increase in your productivity, success, profitability, all realized while having spent less energy, less effort, and having been relatively stress-free. This is going to serve to confirm the changes that are coming from within. And that change can be some seriously cool stuff. So as I kind of move more and more through this, I'm finding that these earlier videos I'm doing have got a lot of kind of foundational quality to them about kind of establishing the rules of engagement. And so I got to go through my own process as I'm putting these videos together as well, of kind of being cool with just how it's unfolding. So some of the foundation that I want to lay down is to begin to kind of help you to use the hours that you spend working to develop that internal observer, the one that can kind of notice and watch how you move through your days, and the one that you can kind of say to yourself, yeah, look how that pissed me off, or isn't it interesting how when she says this to me, it just stresses me out. And once that observer is a little bit more established, as one who's able to kind of witness the modes that you have in the course of moving through your day, then you'll kind of be able to have some of those lightly schizophrenic conversations, and in a good way. If a lot of my kind of schizophrenic conversations would kind of go something like, okay, so I got this email from my boss, and it's really kind of pushing my buttons. So what is it? What is it that's bugging me about this? The ones that would really get to me would be the go team, fight team, push just a little bit harder. We know you can do it. We know you got it in there. And the buttons that it would push for me are like, I was motivated enough. What is it about this cheesy ass email that you think is really going to work? And is that really how you're going to manage? And is that real leadership? And so this kind of internal observer and witness is the one that's able to take a look at that particular little dialogue and say, okay, so what is it about that? And that's where a lot of the good stuff starts to happen, about being able to kind of remove a little bit and take a look at those things. So I'm looking to utilize this, the experience of the sales life to bring this all to the forefront. And as you can tell, it's going to have much larger repercussions than just your work, but I like using work as this context because, it's clearly something I'm familiar with. It's been my path. And there's something very, very real and present in the kind of the here and now, and very grounded about using what we do for our survival that puts, food on the table, as not only the same context that we use for our survival, but also what we can use to kind of find some higher ground, a little bit a little bit easier, simpler, more serene way of being. Way beyond just the basic stuff. So, and whatever your kind of higher self means to you, I'm not clearly going to be, well, maybe not clearly, but I'm not looking to be dogmatic here in any way, shape, or form. And so I'm looking to be as kind of vague on the dogmas and the theology so that they can kind of fit with whatever kind of structures you might need to have them fit into. Because I do think that, actually, I know that it's highly applicable. It crosses all boundaries. So let me give you something to kind of ponder and turn over in your mind a few times. What would it look like? What would it look like to be stressless? Maybe come back to this point in the video and kind of go over this stuff again, but just to kind of throw this out there to start with, exhale a couple of 3 times, and what would it feel like to have that natural flow that comes easily to your sales process? What would it be like to feel like you extended less effort and you got greater results? Not just in terms of money, of course. It's nice to see and kind of visualize what your life would look like if you had more money in it, but also in terms of what would it mean to you on the deepest level that you can fathom, that the more in touch you are with yourself and the more kind of dialed in, the more in the zone you are, the less strain that seems to be required for your daily activities. And, ironically, you accomplish more. So what does it mean that, the easier you're being, the more abundance there is in your life? And so ponder that about, these are the things that I'm talking about. And, take a moment if you can to really kind of sit with these questions, consider and, at the look and feel of what this place looks like as I ponder these things. And it is this that I'm hoping to point the way toward. Now, so cheesy DP stuff is kind of over. I might not go this deep again. But just know that this is kind of where the real action is. And while I might not go here again, the stuff that I'll be talking about will be pointing towards this level and this kind of depth. And I'll leave that for your own kind of an individual plumbing pleasure. Or maybe I won't, I'll need some feedback from folks on if I've gone off the deep end here too much or what have you. So to bring up the vibe a little bit to finish this, I remember that I had a real sense of once when I was able to kind of put 2 and 2 together for me personally, that the more I was kind of willing to go there in the sense that I've been talking about in this vid, ask these questions, be willing to observe my modes, the more cool my life got, as it kind of turned into a big ass adventure of, okay, what kind of new freedom can I unearth now? What am I going to find next? And so for me, at least, that's what my experience has been. And so that's the reason I'm trying to do this stuff. So as always, feedback is invaluable to me. Let me know if I've stepped over any lines of any sort. Thanks so much for taking the time, and we'll see you on the other side. Have fun, guys. Bye.